Quick thing before we get to the reading. My son will be the reader because I'm a simp, thank you very much, and I don't want to say why hen a lot. Now with that out of the way, let's get to the reading of Just Friends, written by Petalmus12. Also, big shout out to them for giving me permission for reading this fic. Hope you enjoy. We all sat silently in our classroom, awaiting the arrival of our abnormal teacher. We then hear a whooshing sound from outside that is followed by the sound of his tentacles squishing against the floor as he approaches the door before he appears in front of us and sets down a book. Alright people, let's get started, shall we? Last monitor, if you would do the honors. The yellow creature says, directing at my blue-haired classmate, Nagisa. Right! Nagisa says as we all stand up and getting into position. Ready? Aim! Fire! Nagisa shouts as we all stand rapidly shooting at our teacher. Normally I would try to aim, but it was pretty much pointless right now with him moving so quickly. I have had prior experience with guns, so I know how to use them pretty well. I also happen to have a good aim too, as I had expected. Our octo teacher dodged every attack we sent in his way. Oh my, why don't I just go roll when you children wear yourselves out? He said before proceeding to call roll. Isogai? Here, Isogai says. What's up? I'm afraid I can't make it roll the gunfire, the yellow creature taunts. Here! Isogai shouts a little louder. The octopus then calls from Nefuro Kojima, Okuda, Kantaoka, Kayano, Kanzaki, and eventually everyone. And after he finished roll call, we all looked down while panting heavily. Everyone seemed disappointed. I figured this approach wouldn't work from the beginning. It's not like they listened if I said anything about it, though. Because what's the word of one person that doesn't even talk to others worth an opposition into 26 other individuals? Excellent. All present account for it. Oh, 30s! Congratulations! Our teacher cheers as we continue to catch our breath. He's fast, Nakamura comments. Whole class opened fire and he doesn't even have a scratch, Isogai complains. Not luck today either, eh? That's really too bad. Tactics that rely on sheer numbers neglect an individual's focus. Be it line of sight, barrel position, or finger movement. Each was far too easy to read. You need to be more inventive, otherwise you'll never be able to kill me. I can speed up to Mach 20, you know? Thane says cockily. Right, Mach 20. There's no way that you dodged that hail of bullets, Miyamura said grumbly. It's kind of point. They're just BBs, and for all we know, you just stood there and took them like a champ, Tsugino adds to Mayahara's comment. My classmates start mumbling to each other on their matters and our teacher's size. Collect the animation and bring it here. As we explained, these are anti-me BBs. Harmless to you, but... He says as he lifts up the tentacle and shoots it, destroying it in the process before continuing to speak. Able to split my cell like a knife through warm tofu. A collective gas aroused from most of the students as we stare wide at the yellow form in front of us. Developed by your government for that exact purpose. Of course, after a few minutes, I can regenerate goods new, he says as his tentacle grows back. A luxury you won't have if you accidentally shoot your eye out. Now on, no discharging guns in the classroom. Safety first, he says as green stripes starting to form on his face as his beady eyes slightly narrow. Good luck killing me before graduation. You're going to need firearms and governments and issue anti-BB away now. Please, it's time to get to work. His face fades back to normal, and we then get ready for the day. A bit later, our teacher finished writing on the chalkboard at the front of the class before turning towards us. Okay, here's a puzzle for you. He pauses for a second to decide what he's going to call on. Isogai. Sir? Isogai responds. Which of these four tentacles the odd man out? The creature asks as he holds up 4 different colored tentacles. The blue one? Isogai answers in a questioning tone. Excellent, the boy who is standing employed who has a relative pronoun, as you call it. The yellow blimp starts his explanation as I look out the window. I see the now permanent crescent-shaped moon resting in the sky, which gets me thinking, how did this came to be? Well, we all know that one day it exploded, rending into a crescent shape. Nobody knows exactly why, and then he appeared. Hello, how are you? So I'm the one who blew up the moon. The odd yellow creature that was just escorted in says in a cheery tone. Eh? We all hum in confusion while staring at it blankly before it continues speaking. Next year, I intend to do the same to the planet Earth. And never mind that now. I'm going to be your new teacher. Isn't that exciting? He says. There was one thought that was coursing through all of our minds at the moment. There's so many things wrong with this picture. Then the black-haired agent-looking man that stood at the front of the room next to the yellow and alien thing spoke. I'm Karasma. I'm from the Ministry of Defense. What I'm about to tell you is what we in the business called classified. He says before sighing. Hell, I'll just come right out with it. I'm gonna need you to kill this thing for the sake of mankind, he says. We all just stared at him speechlessly. I mean, what could we say after being handed this information anyways? Though I probably wouldn't say anything anyways. Excuse me, no offense. Is this a joke? Because if that's the alien who blew up the moon, Mimura starts hesitantly before being interrupted by the yellow creature. I am wonderfully born and bred, thank you very much, says the creature who looks very offended. I'm not at liberty to discuss the details at this juncture. I'll just say he's telling the truth. His threat is all too real. As of this coming March, he will obliterate the Earth. Apart from you, the only people who knows this are world leaders. If word of this leaks out to the public, we'll have world-spread panic on our hands. He must be terminated soon, and with extreme prejudice. Which means that you, Crossman says as he whips out knives and lunges towards the unidentified yellow lifeform and continued his speech, must become assassins. Now you know he's incredibly fast, he says seriously before looking up and noticing the yellow octopus resembling creature trimming his eyebrows. If we were in another situation, I would be laughing right now. He likes grooming eyebrows. Immaculate! You're looking at a being so powerful he can obliterate over half the moon in seconds. So fast that he's been clocked in at Mach 20. A world where he is allowed to live is a world waiting to be destroyed. Plain and simple. Makes it sound all so grim, doesn't he? Jacob, I'm recently made your government an offer. Stop making fools of yourself trying to kill me, he said. And let me teach Class 3E at this illustrious institution, the creature says as he packs up his eyebrow grooming tools. We didn't have much of a choice. We have no idea what his motives are, but we agree under the condition that none of you students will be harmed in any way. The advantage is twofold. On one hand, we'll know the location of his whereabouts for a good portion every weekday, which is something. On the other, he'll be in close range to 30 people, which means an incentive to kill him. Kurosama explains to us. We stand back out of it as Nakamura abruptly stands up and shoots a BB at our teacher, who catches it in between two pieces of chalk. Nakamura, I distinctly remember saying no guns discharging in the classroom. Our teacher schools. I know, Nakamura slouches. Back row, young lady. Think about what you've done, the octopus says, which Nakamura groans at while I start zoning out again, because I already know the stuff we were doing at the moment. Do the deed and you get 10 billion. Kurosama says very seriously. Huh? We all hummed at our eyes basically popping out of our heads. Did he just say 10 million? It's only fair. Kill him, save the Earth. That doesn't deserve a life on the streets. He doesn't think you can do it. Use that. Green stripe indicating he's feeling superior. We have some experience with it. Kurosama explains as green stripes fade onto the octopi's face. Truth be told, I'm not worried about it. The Mendelian couldn't kill me. Why would anyone assume students could? After all, you don't even have fighter jets. Hard to keep tidying from fighter jets. The yellow creature starts to space out as his face returns to normal. What's with the cleaning fetish? Phila asks. It's all on you. Find the cracks in the smug bastard's defenses and exploit them. The weapons he will be provided are harmless to humans, but extremely fatal to him, and it goes without saying, we need to keep this between us. The clock is ticking. Decide whenever you stand for our home being blessed with space dust. Kurosama finished? That should be covered, I think. Why don't we get to the books and make the final year of your life a productive one? Our teacher says after he refocuses back to us. As my thoughts on the matter came to a halt, I look up towards the board and see the creature writing on this chalkboard at the front of this classroom. After a while, the lunch bell rings. Oh, that's lunch, everybody. Excuse me while I hop over to China for a quick bite. You have my cell number. Any killers feeling especially trigger happy today are welcome to hit me up. Our yellow teacher says as he waves a tentacle at us and bursting away. We all hold our arms up in a feeble attempt to block against the airflow created from the sudden movement. Some of the students then start to use a map to figure out the approximate time it would take for him to travel to China and back at a speed. It was calculated to be about 10 minutes. I pull out a book and start reading. Though I can hear some of my classmates talking about the use of missiles to kill him, Izakai quickly shuts the conversation down by saying that wouldn't work because our new teacher moves faster than sound. We all then proceed to talk about how he isn't actually a bad teacher. Well, I suppose I'll have to agree with that. I do pretty good in all my subjects as it is, but he has definitely helped me brush up on everything. Then some darker topics, such as the end of the world, came up and the conversation died down a bit. I pulled out my lunch and ate it like everyone else. I saw Tarasuka and his gang approach Nagisa for the assassination trip. Whatever idea Tarasuka came up with is pretty much guaranteed to be dangerous. But should I put myself out there? I can tell Nagisa doesn't exactly trust Tarasuka anyways, so hopefully he has common sense to reject the plan. It'll be fine. I pull my book up from my lap, but a sudden thought stops me. I could have been normal if only I hadn't rejected Asano at the end of my first year. I wouldn't be in this situation, maybe. Maybe people would actually like me. Well, it's not like I would actually be happy with him, so I am happy I rejected him in that sense. But I really have no real reason to be here. He only asked me out because I was the only girl that didn't fawn over him. After I rejected him, Asano framed me for the numerous acts of violence during my second year, which caused me to enter class-free Eve during my third and final year. I shake the thought out of my mind and return to my book. Our teacher arrives back in the classroom from his trip to China. Nagisa following shortly after I put my book away and face in front of the class. Okie dokie. Your assignment this afternoon is to compose a short poem. The final line should read, "It was tentacles all along." The creature says, a light smirk adoring his yellow face. Excuse me, sir. Really? Kanzaki asked with her hand raised. Really. When you are done, please bring the assignment forward. You will be graded on creativity, grammar, and overall beauty of expression. Here's an example. Not the storm of garden snow or flowers moving on, but spreading them instead with tentacles all along. He says smoothly. Yeah, because that makes a whole lot of sense. Sheesh. Izakai huffs. You may go home once you are finished, our new teacher says, which was followed by a collective groan from most of the class. I don't really mind. I like writing. Poetry definitely isn't my strongest suit, though. What? But sir, it was tentacles all along. Karashi asked exasperatedly. She get those little nine asses sparking and the imagination slivering. The yellow blob started making a weird noise. Could you please knock that off? My hair groans irritably. Sir, question. Kaino raises her hand. Oh, of course, far away, Kaino. Our teacher responds as he turns to the petite green-haired girl. Do we always have to call you sir? You haven't given us your name, and I think we need one, Kaino asks. The yellow blob hums a bit uncomfortably. It would be kind of awkward if we didn't call you anything, right? Kaino continues her reasoning. Well now, our teacher starts awkwardly. Oversight, Sugino comments. Yeah, a little bit, Fua responds. Trouble is, I don't have the sort of name you would just give to people. Why not pick one for me? The yellow octopus suggests. Kagaran, Maihara says sarcastically. Just focus on meter and syntax, our teacher says. Okay, Kaino hums. I'll take a short break while you pick up your pins, he says before going back to the front of the classroom. After a moment, Nagisa abruptly stands up with a bit of a shadow in his eyes and starts walking towards the teacher. That's kind of worrisome. I don't know if I would call him a friend just yet, but he is definitely one of the nicest to me out of everyone in this class. It seemed that Muse favors Nagisa, our teacher comments as Terasuka snickers at the back of the classroom. Suddenly, Nagisa whips out a knife out from behind his paper and lunges at the young yellow octopus. What did I say about thinking outside the box? Asks if he picks up a handkerchief and takes the knife out of Nagisa's hand with it. Nagisa steps forward and hugs him, staring up at him with a serene smile and a bomb now revealed to be worn around his neck. My eyes widen, and a split second later, Churrasco leans forward, smirking and pressing a button. The rest of us covering our heads and faces with our arms to protect against the BBs which were shot in every direction. Churrasco and his gang start cheering for a few of my other classmates were screaming. Nagisa! Kaino murmurs as when the few of her classmates recover from the shock and start scolding across his game for their unsafe behavior. Never saw a suicide bomber coming, did ya? Jurassica says cockily. Jurassica! What did you make Nagisa do? Kaino shouts, speaking my thoughts. What? I'm sorry, but did you have a better idea? I gave him a modified toy grenade with some of those BBs and a spoonful or two of gunpowder that would scatter at a high enough speed. Don't worry, it wasn't enough to kill anybody. I'll pitch you on his medical bills. He says, smirking before looking down and seeing Nagisa covered in a membrane of sorts, completely unharmed. Huh? Whoa, he doesn't even have a mark on him. What the hell is his membrane? Did the bomb? Jurassica stares at the blue-haired boy in confusion before something interrupts him. It's not a membrane, it's a husk. I shed my skin once a month. Says a voice that belonged to our teacher, drawing our attention up into the ceiling as Nagisa sits up and starts peeling the shed off him. I wrap it around your classmate to save him from the blast. He continues to explain while Terasuka and his gang looks completely terrified. I'm going to go on a limb here and assume you didn't see this coming. Terasuka, Yoshida, Muramatsu. Our teachers address the three boys as he looks at them with glowing red eyes and sharp teeth, his skin a pitch black and overall horrifying face. I'm trembling a bit myself, and I'm not even the subject of his anger. This was your doing, wasn't it? Our once friendly teacher accused in a deep, enraged voice as the three boys cowered. Muramatsu lets out a whimper. Who, us? Yoshida asks in a high-pitched voice while sneaking slightly. It was all Nagisa, Terasuka claims, before the octopus launches himself down from the ceiling, flying out the window as we all stare in shock. Or fear in Muramatsu and Yoshida and Terasuka's cases. After a few seconds, he returned with a bag full of house nameplates. The nameplate of my house! Terasuka explains. Here's the deal, kiddos. The agreement I have with your government forbids me from harming you. But there's a catch. If you pull in another irresponsible stunt like that again, there's never say I can't harm someone else. Family, friends, everyone in this world except for you if I feel like it. The creature growls as we all stared in front of the room, an expression of fear painted on every single one of our faces. Go on, threaten us. I ain't afraid of no squid. When you go blowing off the moon, calling us irresponsible? Just protecting yourselves. Terasuka accuses as we quickly, as in the mood changed earlier, it lifts once again. Correct, our teacher says, returning to his usual happy state, as he bravely turns red with a circle around his face about returning to yellow. I know that. I'm not calling you responsible for trying to kill me. No. As a matter of fact, Nagisa here, our teacher begins to explain as he pets Nagisa's hair as the blue-haired boy remains seated on the ground. Gets full marks for a technique. His composure was simply outstanding. However, none of you cared if he was injured. Not even Nagisa himself, it seems. Students with that attitude aren't fit to assassinate anyone. The yellow creature continues as he flushes purple with an X across his face. You must believe yourself worthy of your target. That means taking pride in what you do, in yourselves and each other. All you are more than the sum of your parts. Here's a puzzler for you, Nagisa. Given that I have no intention of being killed, though of course I have every intention of enjoying our time here together before the planning goes kablooey, what exactly are you going to do about it? Our teacher asked. Nagisa looks a bit perplexed, but he looked back at him and smiles before saying, I think you'll find out I can do plenty, sir. Just you wait and see. With a light smirk on his somewhat feminine features, our teacher lets out a clean chuckle as a green stripes faded on his face, signaling his cockiness. That's the spirit, he says the boy before turning to face me and the rest of the class. No one leaves till I'm vanquished, he announces, causing a few people to groan and Nagisa while some of the other contemplating that we never actually gave him a name and how they didn't want to be killers. Hey, what's unkillable in Japanese? Koro-senai? Oh, Koro-sensei! Kaino burst out. Koro-sensei? Nagisa says in a questioning tone. I think it fits perfectly, I say softly as the newly named Koro-sensei turns to us with a smile and a look of approval.